Shares of Apple are under pressure this morning. Bloomberg reporting that the Department of Justice could soon sue the tech giant, maybe today, as soon as today, for allegedly violating antitrust laws, which are they not in the eye of the beholder more than ever these days? Steve Kovach
with this DOJ, yes.
Yeah, with this DOJ. Joins us now with more.
Yeah, I think the big thing we should be looking for, if this lawsuit does in fact happen, is where the App Store falls in, because there's this idea that this Epic Games lawsuit that worked its way through the courts, whether or not that kind of resolved the issue about the App Store dominance, that whole thing, the payments that they collect from the developers and so forth. So to what degree does the DOJ go after the App Store? Huge lucrative business. But beyond that, there are some like subcategories that they're likely going to go after too. The payments, like we were talking about last hour. And also, are you guys, the AirTags, those little...
I've got a few of them. I don't know what to do with them.
So there's this company called Tile that makes a competing product. Companies like that, they are upset because they don't get necessarily full access to iOS and all the same features a product like AirTag.
Can I have my dog swallow it?
Yeah, people put them on their dogs, but
they do.
Yeah.
But not
You're not supposed to do that, but
why?
That's what they say. You're not supposed to track your pets or people.
Kid.
They don't want to be responsible when you
put it on their kids' backpacks.
Yeah, on the backpack is a good idea.
Yeah, they do that.
So there was a headline from NPR, September of last year. United States takes on Google in biggest tech monopoly trial of the 21st century. Does this top that?
Yeah, I feel like it does, at least thematically. I mean, first of all, Apple is a bigger company, hands down. It's a more beloved brand. And here you have the full force of the Department of Justice coming after their own, our own company. And it's also happening at a really interesting time if you think about it. We're at the cusp of this AI revolution. There's this idea that, Apple is behind on AI, doesn't have a coherent story or a good consumer-facing product. And then let's rewind back to a couple decades ago when Microsoft was going through this at the cusp of the mobile revolution. Right. And people were saying, oh, they missed out on this because the government went after Microsoft and therefore they missed the mobile revolution and so forth.
Bill Gates has said that.
Bill Gates has said that.
He had his eye off the ball. He was focused much more on
exactly.
Washington.
And so then you got to wonder, does this become a distraction for Apple?
In the middle of the AI revolution.
Exactly.
Where it seems like Apple is a little behind.
Exactly. And that's going to be like a big theme I'm going to be following over the next couple years as this plays out in the court. Does this distract them to the point where they can't execute whatever AI vision that they have?
Is that an argument for a settlement for Apple to say, okay, we'll just do what we've already done with the EU anyway?
It depends on what the lawsuit says. Again, if it goes after the App Store in a very significant way, the way the EU has already done it, then they're probably not going to want to settle. They're going to want to fight it tooth and nail. But if it's more minor things that they've already conceded in the EU, like opening up the NFC for different payment processors, or making it so different smartwatches could connect better to the iPhone, non-Apple watches and things like that, maybe they concede that, and then they can move forward with what they want to do. But we've seen them fight everything.
It is really weird, though. You pointed out that this is such a beloved company for consumers. To see antitrust go after a company where it doesn't look like there are complaints. I mean, there are complaints from competitors.
Of course, this is all the developers. They're the angry ones, the developers, and so
it's Department of Justice.
The Department of Justice has to make They have to make this case that there's consumer harm and so forth. I'll give you an example. Beloved company. It's not just here in the United States. Right now, Tim Cook is in Shanghai opening up their second biggest store that they've ever did. Their most expensive store next to the one up on Fifth Avenue. Our Eunice Yoon was just emailing me. 1,000 people showed up. I just saw a picture of a guy wearing a Vision Pro trying to meet Tim Cook. So, I mean, this is a beloved company that is going to have a really stressful time. And they're taking these PR blunders also with all these regulatory moves and fighting it. In the EU, they have kind of, dirt on their face with the way they've been handling some of those regulations. So, the lessons learned over there that they're going to have to apply once this lawsuit drops. This is a big deal.
Wow.
You're thinking of other inappropriate jokes, I can tell.
No, not inappropriate jokes. A great song called Sunday Morning, coming down Johnny Cash. I woke up one Sunday morning, no way to hold my head. It didn't hurt. The beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had another one for dessert. Then I fumbled in my closet through my clothes and found my cleanest dirty shirt.
Oh, Mohammed's
cleanest dirty shirt is maybe worth using.
And I bet it's made of Under Armour.
Chris Christopherson, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Johnny Cash. All right. No, I was listening. I was listening.
I'm sure. You weren't looking at Twitter.
I was not looking at things, but that's where Cleanest Dirty Shirt. That's a great song. Thanks.
Who wrote it? Chris Christopherson?
Yep. I think they wrote it together because it says song by Johnny Cash, but songwriters Chris Christopherson from 1972. Were you born?
I wasn't.
Don't answer. You were not.
I'm at 85.
You
I was born in 85.
You were born at night, but it wasn't last night.
Exactly.
Okay.